This is Andre Roberge from TopNet Tricks. Today we're going to learn how to sort IP addresses. Now we're given some data over here which is sorted by DNS name, which is not what we want. We'd like to produce a nice list of IP addresses in IP address order and have the names that go with them. So what we're tempted to do here is to simply sort on IP address. Now, what that gives us is a bunch of IP addresses that are not quite in the right order, almost, but not there, because we can see over here, for example, 192.168.0.216 shows up before .0.80. That's a problem. So how do we clean this up? Now, what I've done in the past is I've created a bunch of formulas that are based on parsing the IP address. So the first thing I was doing was find each one of the dots within the string. Now, first dot here occurs at position 4, and you can see the formula here is a find formula, find dot in cell A5. It comes out at position 4. And the second dot is found at position 8, and the third dot at 10, and in this case we have a slash which is at position 14. Now what we really want to do is find the numbers between the dots. So these are octet 1, octet 2, 3, and 4. To find octet 1 we have to look between the beginning of the string and dot 4, and to find octet 2 we have to look between 4 and 8, and so on until we get 192.168.0.103. Now, in order to convert this to an actual decimal number, we have to take the first octet and multiply it by 256 to the power of 3. So 256 to the power of 3 is this number here. Now, once we multiply it by 192, we get this number. And then we do the same thing for octet 2, except we multiply by 256 to the power of 2. And then for the first octet, we multiply by 256. And for the last octet, we just take the value. And then we add those four numbers, the value for the third octet, second octet, first octet, and the 0th octet, and we get this number. Now, that's the decimal value for that IP address. Now, this takes a lot of columns and a lot of formulas. Now, I found on the internet somebody who is smart enough to do it all in one cell with one big formula, which I don't really want to do it that way. And one of the problems is, in this case, we've got a slash at the end of the formula, at the end of the IP address, and I got an error here because this formula doesn't know what to do with a slash. And now I have to go in and edit this formula to deal with the slash, and I'm not ready to do that. So what I've done here is I've created an IP2DEC function in Excel, which does the work for me right away. So I do is equal to IP2DEC of this value, and bingo, I get the decimal value for that IP address. Now, if I want to do this for the whole column, I can simply enter that. And did you see how quick that was? That was almost 2,000 IP addresses that were done in the blink of an eye. Now that I've got the decimal values for each one of them, I can sort my table by IP address, by decimal number, and get the IP addresses in the order that I want. 192.168.0.80 comes before 103, which comes before 216. So that's how you sort IP addresses using the IP2DEC function.